Karma Mini.
Sahayagya praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam eshavostvishta kamadhuk. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you all desirable things." Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah param avapsyatha. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, thus nourishing one another. There will reign general prosperity for all. Unfortunately, people sometimes call such descriptions in the Vedic literatures of devatas, demigods, very powerful living entities having supernatural powers living on other planets in this universe as mythology. However, the Vedas never mentioned it mythology. Jivasya tattva jigyasa nartho yascheha karmabhi. This is the motto of all Vedic education. We are engaged in various activities you can do, sir. You can do business, job, or any menial service. Or you can be a king or politician. But karmabhi, of all the actions, what is the purpose? The purpose is not simply enjoyment of senses like animals. But the purpose is tattva jigyasa, to understand what is the truth of this life. Who has created this world? What is the purpose? Why am I here? Why am I suffering? When we suffer, we go to doctor. In a similar fashion, we should have this question: why am I suffering? Something is unnatural. I am doing which I am not supposed to do. So human life is meant for such inquiry. All the actions which we are doing, the result is tattva jigyasa, one should inquire truth. So such professors of the Vedic culture who were sages, they have approved this knowledge as being absolute truth. If we want to understand computers, we go to Faculty of Computer Science. If we want to understand automobiles, we go to Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. Similarly, if you want to understand what is truth of life, we should go to Faculty of Truth Department. And this truth department you'll find only in the Vedic culture. In Vedic culture, all education is meant only for knowing truth. That is why all the pass-outs of Vedic schools called Gurukul, they would never take up jobs. Because a person needs to be independent first of all in order to understand truth. So only those people who did not go to Vedic schools, Gurukuls, they would take up jobs. Otherwise, jobs were never taken by any educated person in the Vedic culture. They would remain free. Either they would cultivate their own farms, work 3 months in a year, and balance time they would cultivate Krishna consciousness, or they are Kshatriyas, they collect tax and give protection to people. They are also not dependent on money for somebody, or they are Brahmanas. He is satisfied simply by maintaining, keeping his body and soul together. Somebody gives more donation, he will distribute it. He doesn't want to even accumulate money for next day. Such exalted culture. So such people, such great sages have approved this is truth, Faculty of Truth. So just like we have not seen neutrons, we have not seen electrons, we have not seen protons, we have not seen the black holes. And we might die without seeing them, but we believe in them. Yes, proton, neutron, electron, quarks, so many subatomic particles, they exist. Black holes do exist. We might not be able to see. Electromagnetic waves do exist. In a similar fashion, just like we are depending on some authorities to believe on things we cannot perceive directly, here also we depend on such authorities. And it is not difficult to understand the existence of demigods. You see, this is wonderful machine. Now this session is being recorded on a camera. These eyes are more advanced than most advanced camera that we have made till now. How the image comes, it falls on the retina. The curvature is so perfect. The curvature could have been distorted from birth. There could be some deficiency. Of course, some very sinful people, they have this thing. But normally for most of us, the curvature is just right, that the image falls on the retina. How did the atoms decide that we adjust in this way that the curvature should be focused on the retina? And then there is mechanism to control the intensity of light. There are sufficient proportion, the exact nice ratio of rods and cones which define our perception of colors. If it changes, we become colorblind. In every living entity, the right amount of rods and cones, the ability to distinguish colors is present. Then there are optical nerves, just like in camera, how the recording, it is able to be converted into electrical signals. And then these electrical signals are transmitted. So there is proper mechanism, wiring in the brain, who has done this wiring. And then the image which is formed, that is inverted. There is optical nerve which inverts that image again, so that we can see the world right side up, not upside down. So who created this very nice optical nerve which inverts the image in the exact degree, 180 degree? Is it not a wonderful mechanism? Then it goes to spine, from spine it goes to brain. What wonderful machine it is, this just eye. And there is so much wonderful mechanism happening in this body. Food that we eat, it goes, calcium will be taken out, will be sent to the bones, vitamins will be taken out, will be sent to the respective organs wherever it is required. The waste will be collected, it will be excreted. How nicely it is happening. Air comes, we need only oxygen, oxygen is taken, other gases not required are eliminated. How nice mechanism it is. So there is somebody who has designed, is it not? So that is a fact. It is done by a demigod. His name is Brahma. He has designed all our bodies. And Brahma also has been created by somebody. Brahma's body has been designed by somebody. That is Lord Krishna, that the Vedas define. So in this way, just like in any establishment, there is one king and there are so many ministers, or prime minister, under him so many ministers. In a similar fashion, there is one supreme personality who is called God. Under him, there are other ministers of universal affairs. They are called demigods. Why is it difficult to understand? Somebody has created all these machines, isn't it? The right chemicals, right? How nice design it is. Chanakya Pandit says, when I see just this mechanism, as soon as the child is out, there is milk in the breasts of the mother. Not before that, not after the child is grown up. Because the child cannot survive on anything other than milk. And the milk comes out at the right time. And it has all the nutrients required for the child, and child cannot survive on anything else than the milk. How nice is this mechanism? So there are people who are doing it, and there is somebody who is controlling all such people who are doing this thing. He is called Supreme Lord, and those people who are directly responsible for such activities. Just like now in a city, there is water supply, there is power supply. Similarly, please do not think it is happening by chance. The rains, the water, the air, the food that we have, everything is in control of demigods. It is mentioned in the scriptures. Now our science does not allow us. Otherwise, we could have gone and practically seen. But now we cannot go, so we take help of authorities. And these authorities are not ordinary. They are very powerful. They have dedicated their lives to find truth. And these authorities reject general perception that we have, calling it as illusion. So will they believe and propound some mythology? No. So I request, let us try to with great deliberation, with diligence, read the Vedas, and we also will be convinced that this is fact. God is fact, the supreme creator, demigods are also fact. So here Krishna is telling, the demigods being pleased by the sacrifice will also please you, and thus nourishing one another there will reign general prosperity for all. As we give tax to the government maintains all these departments very nicely, and the facilities are given to us. We have nice transport, nice education, and all the public facilities, defense, healthcare is done by the government. If we don't give tax, then again we will not be taken care properly and we will suffer eventually. If we give tax, we are given proper care, we earn more money, we give more tax, there is general prosperity for all. Similar cycle happens here in the universe also. So a person is supposed to do yajna. By yajna, demigods are pleased, they are nourished, and they nourish us. In this way, mutually, the demigods and the living entities, By following this chakra, this cycle of yajna, for everybody there is prosperity. This science is not known to people.